What's happening, my creatures of the night? Good to see each and every one of you again. This is something I haven't done in a long time. Throwback Tuesdays. I used to do these quite a bit back in the day where I would just pick a topic related to the past of music, and I would talk about it for a bit. So I figured I'd bring that back. I don't know if this is a one-time only thing. I don't know if I'm going to bring this back full-time. If you notice, I kind of ride the wave. I don't really make plans and don't really always follow through with them. I kind of change things up a bit every now and then. But yeah, I figured I'd do a Throwback Tuesday just because I was reminiscing on the good old days of my YouTube channel where I was like on a roll. I was putting up videos almost every day. And I used to do Throwback Tuesdays a lot and they got a lot of good reception. So today I'm not going to talk about black metal in its entirety. I'm going to talk about just early black metal and the emergence of black metal because I feel that the emergence of a genre is interesting. To really dig deep into black metal, we have to go back to the early to mid 80s. I would say one of the bands that really set the blueprint for black metal, although they weren't quite the black metal band in my opinion, I would say it was Bathory. Bathory had this atmosphere and this darkness in their sound, which complemented the heavier metal riffs and whatnot. Listen to the album Hammerheart, and you'll definitely hear those early influences of black metal. They weren't really the driving force, though. I would say another band that did a bit more than Bathory for black metal, while they weren't the driving force either. They definitely lit the spark. They lit a bigger spark than Bathory. And that band would have to be Venom. Venom was the precursor to black metal in a way. Their use of satanic imagery on their artwork and their subject matter in their music, let alone they had an album entitled Black Metal, which definitely, like I said, lit a huge spark. They had all of that, and that was kind of like, okay, they're up to something here, It's not fully black metal, but it's kind of in that direction. Other bands I'd say that kind of had that same influence in the early 80s include, bands like Celtic Frost, Possessed, Sodom, Merciful Fate, Hellhammer was a really early one. Heck, even Slayer's first couple albums, Show No Mercy and Hell Awaits, before they fully went in the thrash direction. Their early stuff kind of had that black metal influence, little hints of it. I'd say some key albums that really pioneered what became black metal would be Welcome to Hell by Venom, Black Metal as Well by Venom, that's an obvious one. Satanic Rites by Hellhammer, Bathory with their self-titled album, and Hammerheart. Probably Seven Churches by Possessed, Morbid Tales by Celtic Frost, that's a really good one. It's a must-have. Don't Break the Oath by Merciful Fate, that's an awesome album, by the way. All of these are early to mid-80s, where things were kind of just starting to rumble, in my opinion. It wasn't really until 1987 where a band came along and released their first EP. This band is one of the darkest, most terrifying bands in not just metal, in all music of our era. And this band is known, for those who don't know, as Mayhem. And in 1987 they released an EP entitled Death Crush. And that was the driving force of black metal. There were other bands around that time that had that, but Mayhem was they took black metal and they gave it a fucking name. These guys didn't realize how big they became in the world of black metal. They became like gods over time. After this EP, however, they did some live stuff and whatnot, but didn't really release an album until 1994 entitled De Mysteriis Domus Sathanis, which yet is another phenomenal work for black metal and is one of the most essential black metal albums of all time. It took long because, the band's been through some shit. But that time period, we saw the uprising of bands like Immortal, Dark Throne. Down the line, Burzum came along. But yeah, that first wave of black metal, from 1987 to like 1995, 6, was just precious. It was a really pivotal time and influenced the black metal that came after. Dark Throne had albums like Transylvanian Hunger, Blaze in the Northern Sky. Immortal put out like put out Pure Holocaust, I think, in like '93 or something. And yeah, it was just a really good time. And yeah, that's kind of like the uprising of black metal. We all kind of know where black metal is at in this day and age. And a lot of these bands that started out are still the go to bands. They're still considered gods. They're considered like essential, especially Immortal and Mayhem. Like, yeah. And yeah, that's all I gotta say. And yeah, thank you guys for watching. Rock on.